Hey there, Poke fans. Welcome to Let's Play Games West Virginia. I'm Kevin, and this is PokéMonday. Let's Play Games West Virginia is a group of West Virginia-based streamers. We've got something interesting going on every night of the week. If you're new to the channel, there should be a ticker tape down at the bottom. Feel free to check that out and stop in and say hey. If you're in the chat, feel free to let us know that you're there, and welcome back to PokéMonday if you're a frequent viewer. So next week is GoFest week, finally. So we've been counting down the days. We're ready to go. Tickets are reserved, hotels set up, and we're looking forward to bringing you some interesting content from Pokemon Go Fest. Both Heather and I are really looking forward to it. I have cleared up over 1,000 free spaces to bring Pokemon back for our local players and friends, and Heather's cleared out a bunch of space too. So we're looking forward to basically grabbing every single special Pokemon that we can and come back. I see there's an issue with the chat color, so give me 1 second to straighten that out. Assuming that I can. I'm having some trouble with Streamlabs for a second. So give me a minute and I'll try to get that chat color straightened out so that we can get back on to PokéMondays. Oh man. Alright. Something extraordinarily strange is happening with Streamlabs. Sorry folks, technical difficulties. Just trying to get everything set back up. Oh, it logged us out. Awesome. So if you don't mind, while I set this up, we can talk a little bit about upcoming events. So we have June Community Day coming up this month, and it will be Slack Off. There's been some speculation on the internet that Slack Off's new move, sorry, I'm conflating two things. So that Slack Off will have a special move for Community Day. As you know, that we're in the middle of kind of this Snorlax event as well. And there's been some speculation about the Snorlax event and his move being Yawn, that we could be looking at status attacks entered into the game, which would certainly be interesting. So one of the things that I've been thinking about is the game is kind of based on this tapping system, which isn't immediately clear exactly how those status effects will be used. So in the main narrative games, things like Yawn can attack can reduce the stat that governs another Pokemon's attack or defense stats, and it'll be really interesting to see if those status effects make it into the game. But it's unclear how that will happen or if it will happen. Alright, there we go. Thanks, Jagro. Oh, for some reason the entire chat is now gone. So we have a question from chat. You can't play from, this is previously recorded footage, so we're not playing from home. This is footage from throughout the week. So typically we go through and look at the news and events from the week, and this footage was kind of our playing from this week. So one of the things, as you see, we have a Snorlax on screen currently. One of the things that appears to be interesting is the first two balls basically don't matter, and they don't count against your throws. So There's something kind of strange going on with how they have that set up. Oh, thanks for the follow. Which should be interesting to see how that. I'm not even, I guess the idea there is he was since Snorlax is sleeping, that he's hard to catch, and so they set up this system whereby these first two balls are kind of, they're just not even counted. It's a really strange setup. So if you use berries or use Pokeballs in those first two throws, they kind of don't matter, which is particularly strange. All right, I think I have everything squared away now. So yeah, all right, there we go. So yeah, the Snorlax event is kind of interesting. What's interesting is typically when we've had Snorlax in the game before, he's been standing up somewhere on the map. These days when you see him, he's kind of laying down. It's kind of fun to have these special events, but I wish that they would have done a special event sprite like they do for the Pikachus with a hat, where Snorlax was actually laying down in your bag. I think that would have made the event a bit cooler, rather than just getting a hold of a potential special move, which may lead us into status effects later. So the other purveyor of yawn, slack off, and slacking are Community Day features later this month. They'll be from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. again, just like the last one. I really like the idea of kicking Community Day forward a little bit and having it pretty much be fixed for your locale. For us, it was kind of a strange time to get those sometimes because it was like 2 in the afternoon, so that little extra hour I think really matters. There should be that extra hour period for where you can evolve and get the special move. And eggs will hatch 4 times faster during the event than they do typically. So that will definitely be a good time if you're balancing your 10K, 7K, and 2K eggs and 5K eggs from stops versus gifts. On the topic of gifts, so as we prepare to head over to Pokemon Go Fest in Chicago, one of the suggestions is that you clear out your eggs beforehand so you can get Go Fest eggs and hatch them while you're there. So one of our local players gave me a really interesting idea, which for the 2 weeks ahead, I'm basically curating my eggs. So every 2-kilometer egg that I get from spinning a stop, I'm saving and not putting in an incubator. So slowly I'm weeding that down from 9 eggs of different distances down to having 9 2-kilometer eggs. Then on the way to Go Fest, I can pop all of those in incubators and basically have them all hatched by the time we actually start the event, and can collect eggs there. So that was a really interesting idea. I hadn't thought to do it beforehand, and so currently I think I have 4 2-kilometer eggs and some open spots. So I'm trying to curate very carefully the opening of gifts. So Crimsonic says he finally got a Gibble today. Well, you're ahead of me, so I don't have a Gibble yet. There's a handful of the new Pokemon that I still haven't got, plus any regional stuff. But I haven't seen a Gibble yet, and I don't have a Gibble. I have gotten both of the versions of Hippopotas in the last 2 weeks, both the male and the female. So that's one of those ones that you kind of have to look after because they can evolve differently. But congrats on the Gibble. I don't have one yet, and I'm looking forward to it. No. So we have a question again in chat, and you can't play from PC. This is previously recorded footage from the last week. Wow. So our Discord pays attention to spawns, and you can request notifications for spawns. I haven't been doing that for Gibble yet, so I'm not sure what our local spawn rate is, but I'm not seeing many people with it, so it's definitely pretty rare. Wow. Yeah, sometimes, you get those notifications and they're across town and you can't make it, so congrats on being able to snag that. Yeah, I've been trying to balance my 10K, 7K, 5, and 2K eggs to kind of increase those odds, but I haven't seen one either. I think the 10K egg I hatched today was a Ralts, which is kind of a bummer. I have all of the evolutions for there, and I'm not really saving for any Ralts candy or anything. So when you have a 10K egg and it's something that, it's pretty common like that, it's definitely a bummer. So one of the other changes for the past week are we have new legendary raid bosses for Tier 5 raids, which are Kyogre, Groudon, and Cresselia are back. So these were legendary bosses within the last 3 months, but they were out for a while, so now they're back. So they're coming in around, so Cresselia is out currently. We hit several Cresselia raids, which you'll see some footage of that from the past weekend, and we were shiny hunting for Cresselia. So we hit, I think, 7 in one day. So I didn't have any luck there. As we can see in some footage later, Heather actually was able to snag that shiny space avocado, which looks pretty cool. We had a mention in chat from Crimsonics, speaking is hard, about Adventure Week. So Adventure Week is something new that's coming up. Adventure Week will feature Rock-type Pokemon. There will be 4 times Buddy Candy, which is a feature that I don't think I've seen before. So definitely you're going to want to choose your buddy for the period judiciously. For the last 3 weeks, I've been walking a Shieldon, and now I have a Cranidos in there. So those are both been very thin on the ground here. If I don't evolve the Cranidos by the time Adventure Week is fully into the swing, I'll leave them in there. But 4 times Buddy Candy is an excellent reward, and it's not one that I've seen before, so I'm definitely looking forward to that part of it. One of the things that's also really interesting is the new stop spinning XP. The first time you spin the photo disc of a new to you Pokestop, there'll be 10 times the experience for that as there normally is. So if you're in that slow level grind from level 36, 7, 8, 9 to 40, definitely want to make use of that. And that's been beneficial because we have, at least in our local area, many new stops. We've seen some stops converted to gyms, and then just some general new stops added to the game. One of the things that I haven't seen that I'd be interested in seeing, so there's a Zoe 2 Dots video talking about the new Harry Potter game, and there were some features in the Harry Potter game that weren't yet in Pokemon Go. I'd be interested to see if that's actually working its way backwards, and if our new stops are the new Harry Potter locations for that game. If anyone happens to know that, if that happens to be true, let us know in the chat, because I'd be interested to find out if that's the case. I suspect it might be. Wow, those are really high IVs for a Powdon. Dang. Man, I've only seen, I think I've seen 3 Hippopotas, so that is a crazy amount. Wow, you're killing it, Crimsonics. 2 more features of Adventure Week which will be useful to you. If you can complete 50 kilometers during the period, you will get 50,000 additional Stardust and 15 rare candy. So between the rare candy, the 4 times Buddy Candy, the XP, and the Stardust, this can be a really lucrative period, and it's definitely something you want to pay attention to. So that's going to be June 4th through the 11th, and it starts at 1 p.m. Pacific time. So make sure that if you're going to load up on a bunch of stuff, whether that's buffs or who you choose your buddy and all of that stuff, that you make sure that you wait till actually the event starts in your area. That 1 p.m. Pacific time can be tricky for many folks. It's kind of a weird one for those of us who are in other time zones, so make sure to pay attention to that. Because we've seen several times where we thought there were evolution events or trade events and they just hadn't been opened yet. So pay attention to that weird time zone, and good luck for Adventure Week. I'm looking forward to it, and hopefully I'll finally be able to clear up some of those last Dex entries that aren't regionals or special event Pokemon. So apparently our general pleasure with legendary raid hours, extended hours to 7 p.m. have been heard. So every Wednesday we're going to have additional legendary raid hours from 6 to 7. So that will be local depending on your time zone, and during that period there will be more tier 5 raids than there would be normally, and more legendary Pokemon for them. So if you're like me and you work most of the day and you can't do a whole lot of Pokemoning other than quick trips for lunch and stuff, it's really nice to have those expanded hours. So Niantic and the Pokemon Company have been really focused on, I think, what they view as a kids market for the game, but obviously there's a lot of serious players who are not children, and having everything end at 5 o'clock was really a hindrance, especially for raids. So if you work second shift, you're probably still out of luck, so that's a bummer there. It would be nice if they could have some feature where maybe you could opt in to additional stuff and turn on additional features for playing in maybe non-traditional hours. I know when I played Ingress which was Niantic's game before Pokemon Go, I worked screwy hours. So I was often playing very, very early in the morning, like 4 a.m. early, and sometimes very late as well, because my work schedule was screwy. So this is a really strange melding. So it's pretty common, I think, now to see like weird Pokemon sprite amalgamations. And when I first saw this on the screen, it kind of looked like a Snorlax with like 6 or 8 limbs. So I just kind of had to stop and admire this weird pile of Snorlaces. Pretty sure that's the plural of Snorlax. Yeah, so there's something definitely kind of weird going on there. And I don't know what it is. So I have been walking Shieldon for at least 40 or 50 kilometers, I think, saving up the candies, dumping all of my rare candies in here, and I finally got to evolve that guy this week, which was exciting. I think I ended up with 2 or 3 new dex entries, and obviously those are becoming fewer and far between as I get closer to it, but it's nice to finally have Bastiodon finished. Whoa, I hadn't heard that. So, Crimsonix is saying in chat there's a bug where with Lucky Egg Popped, if you spin 4,000 new... I assume that's 4,000 new Pokestops, you can go from a new account to level 40 without doing anything else. How would you find 4,000 new Pokestops? That's pretty crazy. This was another new dex entry, Licky Licky. So I was able to snag this guy. Oh, thanks for the host. So I have had a hard time collecting Sinnoh Stones. I think I still have 1 unused. I got 2 this week, which was highly unusual. I haven't been having a whole lot of luck picking those up through team captain, the trainer battles for the PvP. I usually have been getting Stardust or nothing for those. So I'm not sure if you need to bop around. I've been trying different tiers, but I just kind of haven't had the luck there. I did have this crazy glitch. So as you can see, this is like a level 9 raid with no Pokemon. So this was a really strange glitch. You can see the splash screen where the red comes in. There's no Pokemon located there, and there's no Pokemon located here. But it's the highest tier raid that I've ever been in. So no idea what's going on with that glitch. It's not one that I've seen before. But of course, glitches and Pokemon Go, go together rather well. I have had pretty good rare candy luck this past week, which has been good because I've been dumping them into Shieldon and Cranidos. I saw 1 Cranidos but was not able to catch it, and I've gotten 2 in trade, and that's been it. Shieldon, of course, after I evolved it, I've seen like 3, but I had seen very, very few prior to that. Andy's letting us know that apparently the video is frozen. Well, oh, it's frozen and it's lagged quite a bit behind. Alright guys, with a third tech failure, I'm going to go ahead and call it for the evening. Thanks for tuning in. Apologize for the short show this week. Not sure what's going on with the intertubes here, but I appreciate you tuning in. We've got something going on every night of the week. Next week, there'll be a slight change up for schedule. We're going to have some E3 coverage happening on Monday rather than PokéMondays, but the week after, we will be back with all of the Go Fest updates that you can stomach. So thanks for tuning in to Let's Play Games West Virginia. I'm Kevin, and we will see you soon. Thanks, guys.